teenage girls, you might be more interested in something online, whereas dads, you might have something at a pub, for instance.
Or at the gold shop.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if we'll have time to go through all of this, but you may be able to do it afterwards. But when you're looking at your ideal customer, you need to know their gender, you need to know how old they are, you need to know whether they're married, whether they have children. Obviously, most of these businesses are children related, or baby related, or parenting related, and so you would hope that they have children or they want to have children. You need to know where they're located, what sort of education they have. Did they go to university? Did they leave school when they were 14 because they just wanted to go out and get a job? Are they employed? Are they at home? Do they want to be employed? Do they not want to be employed? Do they have hobbies? So all of those things will help you work out who it is that you should be targeting. And you need to work, once you know all of those things, think about what it is that's important to them. So is it important to go and have 5 minutes to have a cup of coffee, as we were talking about earlier? Or is it important to them to be surrounded by as many children as possible, and so they look after the whole street's kids? Like, if that's what's important to them, then that's going to help you market to them.
Question?
Yes?
Again, if you may, or we've broken ours into different areas,
Yes.
should there be 3 different versions of this?
Yes. More work, yes, but better.
No, just reading, because we wrote one for when I was just in that frame of mind in November, so I bought it and I'm just rereading it. I'm like, fits for one area,
Yeah.
but not the other.
For example,
Okay.
I've got the mums that want the massage and ring up and book it. I've got the dads who ring up because their partner's in pain
Right.
as a gift, and then I've got the my corporate version, which is buying the vouchers.
Yep.
And each of them have a different.
But that's your different target market.
Yeah.
And so you would have different methods that you use
Absolutely.
to approach each of those people.
And different language.
Yeah,
Well, that's as I was
exactly,
reading
that's
through this,
exactly
I'm like,
right.
I would need different language or okay.
And different formats.
Yeah.
They wouldn't all respond to the same thing. Okay, so what do they want? When you're thinking about what it is that your product or service can do for them, what is it that they want to get as a result of using that product or service? Because ultimately, when you're telling people about your business, you need to be solving a problem for them. And so what they want is the solution. So you need to tell them what that solution is. And I've just gone straight past the next one. There's the brains going. So are we happy to move on to the next bit? I'm just aware of time. I don't mean to be rushing you, but I want to make sure that I cover everything for you. So now that you know who it is that you want to target and how old they are and where they live and all those sorts of things, it can help in your marketing to actually give them a name and a profile and fill in all the gaps, because then it's sort of like talking to someone in particular. And it may be that you know that person. You may know the person who's your ideal customer.
It's
And
normally
so-
you, isn't it? Isn't that when you break it down?
Sorry, what did you say?
When you break it down, it's normally you.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
If you're solving a problem that you had yourself and
Yeah.
you created a business as a result, then yeah.
My
definitely.
client's where I was 10 years ago,
Yeah.
not me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said to me once that you should look like you can afford your own stuff as well. I
Yeah,
think.
personal branding is very
Absolutely.
important.
Sure. And so if that helps you to be talking to a particular person or someone in your mind that what they look like, create a life for them, then put that together. Have the cafes that they go to or have where they go shopping. And so build a whole profile for that person.
Building a character.
So now I'm going to talk about when you actually set your marketing objectives. Anyone who's set a goal or a New Year's resolution will know that the more specific that you are, the more likely it is that you may actually do something with that. If you just say randomly, I want to lose weight, which is my favourite one, that could be a kilo. If I've lost a kilo between that New Year's Eve and then that New Year's Eve, well then yeah, I've done that. Fantastic. It helps to be a little bit more specific, because if I then get to the end of that year and say, yes, I did what I said I was going to do, but I'm not feeling that excited about it because it's not really a huge achievement. If you set something really specific, then that's actually going to make you feel really good when you achieve it, and then you're going to then set the bar higher and keep going. So be specific. It also helps you work out what it is that you're going to do and how you're going to do it if you're specific about it. So do you want to build your brand amongst your customer base? Do you want more people to walk into your store? Do you want more people to come to your website? Do you want to sell more items? All of these things are very different objectives. And so the more specific you are, it'll help you define what it is that you're going to do.
Can I just ask a question there?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you might be covering it, I don't know. Should you focus on one particular thing at a time?
Usually you would have more than one objective, and I would say that you would need to be producing different results. Some of them may overlap, but I would treat each one individually, but as a whole, as part of your marketing strategy, you will be doing these particular things, but you should still treat each one individually, because to get more people
but you
to
don't
click
do
on
one like at a time.
at a time, yes, definitely.
So this one is purely just for lead generation, this one is sales driven, this one is whatever.
If you lump them all together, then it's not going to be as effective. So yeah, you should definitely do them one at a time. But also understanding that there will be a little bit of overlap because it's all part of your marketing strategy. So once you've worked out what it is that you want, then you need to drill down even further. So if you want to sell more items, for instance, exactly how many more do you want to sell and over what time period? Are you aiming for more website visitors? Exactly how many more, or a growth by a certain percentage, and over what time period is that percentage going to be? Just saying that you want more customers in the next year won't stretch you. You actually need to be specific about that. So think about if you want to increase your revenue, for instance, by $50,000 a year. So that's
Deal, sign me up.
that's a good, isn't it? So then you would then break that down over the 12 months and say, okay, so I want to do 50,000 over the next year. Then that averages out to around about 4,000 a month. So it's about 1,000 a week. And so then once you've broken it down, you'll be able to work out how you're going to make that happen. It's like what you were saying before, you have a big picture and then you go backwards to work out how you actually achieve that.
Drill it down to it works out for 3 times a day.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, because that's something that's tangible, and you can see, okay, so if on any given day, if I've had my 3 clients, then I'm working towards that end goal. Because looking at it as this huge, big, okay, I want $50,000 or $1 million or whatever it is, it's a bit scary. You need to quantify it.
I restructured my pricing once with somebody, and when we got all down to it, and we were looking at a 1,500 or a 3,000, and then he added up with the clients that I was doing over the last 12 months. If I got those averages for the next 12 months and the same amount of clients, how much more I would make, and I nearly fell off my seat.
Yeah.
Because I could never do the math. Someone had to tell me.
Yeah.
But when he put it into those specific whatevers and then turned a piece of paper around and said, you're going to do that much more, you get that high average from everybody. I went, really?
Renee literally took my breath away when she did that. If you,
Because I'd never been, I wouldn't know how to do that until someone actually told me and showed it to me. with my work, with my figures and
You.
my shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really
But
interesting
once you
exercise.
had those results, then you were able to say, oh, so that's not so pie in the sky. I can actually make that happen.
Exactly. And with the structure of restructuring the price list, it does.
Yeah, and that's
Stuff
one
with the
thing
wrong
you did,
clients.
and as a result, that happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. Good. Okay, so if you look at the next question on your worksheet, I want you to write down what your marketing objectives are over the next 3, 6 and 12 months.
To have one.
Helps.
Have an objective would be good.
That's very useful.
So what is probably to guess? Would it be like easier to say what is realistic? Like what should we be thriving for, reaching for? You know, so what's realistic?
Well, I guess the answer to that is different for every single
Yeah.
business. But you will know, well, for instance, Suzette was just saying that they sat down and worked out the figures over a year, was it? And so then you were, I imagine that you set those percentages or how you came to that as what you thought was realistic for you.
Well, we set them as what I was doing.
Yes.
Then we restructured the price list to be
And
a
then
little
you
bit
redid the
better.
calculations.
And then we redid the calculation for the next 12 months if I had the same amount of clients.
Yeah.
But with my restructuring of my costings
Yeah.
and my prices, and which wasn't a huge tweak, but it was just a few little things that cleaned up.
Often just
And also
mind.
keeping in mind post-production, the actual
Yeah.
physical time of
Your
putting
time.
things
Yeah,
together.
definitely.
Yeah.
It was really interesting, but so it was exactly, you see the same people this year as you saw last year, but putting these systems in place, and it worked. The only problem that near the end of it is my marketing changed and I got to a lower demographic of people who didn't have the money to
Oh,
spend.
okay.
So I messed up.
So, yeah, so
Oh, I'm
then
back
you
to
would need
scratch
to change. You would need to change your
Yeah.
objectives
Yes.
because they would have.
I don't understand.
And
this
these new
much.
plans are amazing, they're all right. But then you don't really work them out for another 6 to 12 months, then you go, oh, messed up there, but I had that right and that right. But that let me down. And,
Yeah, but
and to
that's-
get them all...
that's what it is. It's constantly evolving.
Yeah,
Because-
that's exactly right.
So, sorry, I think we probably may just need some clarification here. So, when you say marketing objectives, any example? So, are we talking like how many more clients do they want, or
It depends. When you
what?
when you were talking this morning about what it was that you wanted to get your business to, and some of those things would be helped along by marketing to gain more customers or to gain more website visitors or to gain more sales or to introduce new product lines or all of those things. I would imagine, I wasn't here for the whole time, but you would have some steps that you know you have to achieve to make those things happen. And so those steps, there would be marketing objectives associated with those steps.
Is that your plan? Is that what that
Okay.
is about?
So because what we went over this morning is we went over a sales process and a sales funnel. So we were touching more about not marketing.
Yeah.
So we didn't talk about lead generation and how they're coming in. It was more so establishing that process, that sales journey that people are going through. So offering them, for example, that something free, something cheap, something less cheap, and then packaging and pricing it up, and all their prices, around that.
So
So,
Say
No,
for
you're
example, in the 3 months, I know like yesterday I've sent off my files for my new website.
Yep.
That is going to have newsletter or whatever it is,
Yep.
sign up, e-shop,
Okay.
blog that's, because at the moment mine's sitting on a blog.
And so
So
when
I could
will all
put,
that be happening
well, it's
as a result of the you
it's
sending
coming
the
now.
files?
Like the files have gone to her and she's in the midst of
Okay.
changing everything over. So I could put that as my 3 months, that is 100% up and running.
Yep.
receiving.
And then you're actually having people sign up to your newsletter.
Yeah, and
Okay.
sales and things. So is that something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so do you have in mind how many people that need to sign up to your newsletter to achieve something else that you
Yeah.
No. Maybe have a
See,
think
that's
about
the
that.
next step that's really hard.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be in my 6 months, is to
Yeah.
choose, put in what, from now to
So
6
in
months.
3 months, you'd like people to know that they need to go to your website
Well, I'd
to
like
sign
it
up
up.
for a newsletter.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
6 months, you might say, okay, so I want to have
that I'm,
X number of people signed up by then.
Yeah. Yep.
And then in 12 months, you might say, as a result of these people that have signed up, I want to have increased my revenue by
recurring
Yeah.
purchases or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect.
Cool.
But it is individual to each
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, my next 3 months is planning my following 12 months and sitting down and planning it better than I never usually plan it properly. I need
Yeah.
to sit down, stop,
Yeah.
get all the information
Mm.
and put it together. That's what I'm visualising for my next 3 months
Yeah.
and clean up a website.
Yeah.
Then it's get out there and market and find new people to play with,
Okay.
which will also evolve to be a 12-month
Yeah.
better end.
Yeah. So your 6 months is lead generation, and then your 12 months is
Work it.
yeah, sales. Cool.
So
Awesome.
they're all a little bit different, I suppose. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But for some people, it might be brand awareness. So in 12 months,
Yeah.
you might go from nothing
Yeah.
to people talking about your brand or
Yeah.
talking about your particular product. And so then
Yeah.
you've got to work out how you actually make that happen.
Yeah. Could we probably spend a couple of minutes just helping
Yeah,
everyone
sure.
out with that?
Yeah.
Would everyone,
Yeah.
is that, yeah? Kath, do you want to go?
Well, I think for me, I don't know if I got it right, but because I've got a really good website, but
Yeah.
I need it audited and updated,
Yeah.
and I need to add things to it, like maybe a